And it was a bit frustrating because if I had them, then I won't be missing all these things. 3 months, but the day you mistakenly call each other, oh my goodness. It was like I did it and they were going to punish her. And they're like, Did anybody do it also?" And I was like, I also did it. And they flogged. Oh my goodness. The hand of oil. When the things are dry, the friend is missing. That's not friendship. That's extortion.
Hi guys, my name is Omolo Afamiwa. Let's talk.
Call him. He will answer you. And when you're falling,
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is Let's Talk with Omolo Afamiwa. And if you are new here, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome. So last week we were talking about something. We were talking about friendships, and we didn't really talk in depth of it. So I would like to do that today. You can see we are in the car again. I don't know why, which I don't know, but here we are. Friendship is necessary. You cannot live this life without having a ship. A ship is a vessel that carries people. So also is friendship, relationships. You need to build it in everywhere you find yourself, in every area, because you need people in your corner. You cannot live in isolation. Trust me, you can't. You can try, but you can't, because you need people in every aspect of your life. I remember, I think when I was in my 400 level, 300 level, 400 level in the university, I had an issue with my friends back then. So I didn't really have friends then, and I was moving alone. Before, me and my friends will go to class together. They will call me when there is class, when there is surprise test, all that kind of thing. I was getting information from them. But since we were no longer rolling together, I used to go to class late because I had nobody to remind me of, although I was meant to remind myself of the time for lecture and stuff, but I had nobody reminding me or telling me news about impromptu lectures and things like that. And it was a bit frustrating because if I had them, then I won't be missing all these things. Simple information, all those type of things, I would miss it because I didn't have any friend to tell me or to inform me about that thing. So friendship is necessary. You cannot live this life without a ship. You cannot live this life without friendship. If you want to cross the water, you will need a boat, a canoe. If it's a big ocean, you need a ship. So you need to cross in life, you need a ship, which is friendship, relationships. Because when you have friends, you are building a relationship with them. So that is the important thing. And why I said that you can't live this world without having a friendship, or you can't live the earth without having a friendship in every facet of your life. Let us take the story of Joseph, for example. When Joseph was in the prison, he met the cupbearer and the baker. It is the friendship, or it was the closeness that they built, that made to see that, okay, these people are worried, they are looking dull, what's the matter? If you didn't have any relationship with them, you might have as well just fascised them and not spoken to them at that point in time. But because he already had a relationship building with them, he was able to ask them what's the issue, and he provided solution. And it was because he provided solution to the cupbearer that when the cupbearer left the prison and then the king needed somebody to interpret his dream, he remembered Joseph, although he had forgotten Joseph for a while, but he remembered Joseph. And it is because he had a relationship with him, he called him, he suggested him to the king, and then he came to the king, and we all know the story, how the thing unfolded. It is that friendship or that relationship that Joseph built with the cupbearer that gave him the edge to come out of the prison. Even though people will argue that if not, God would have still found a way. But God had put that person there to help him. God had put that person there so that they will build a relationship for a time such as that. So if you go to a new place, if you go to a workplace, your school, wherever, and you just decide to be on your own, I don't want anybody to corrupt me. I don't want anybody to lead me astray. You need to go and look for the person that will not lead you astray, because you cannot walk on earth alone. Paul had people. He first of all started with separate me Paul and Barnabas. God told them, separate me Paul and Barnabas. After Paul and Barnabas, you see the work with Paul. Paul became acquaintance or friends with Timothy. You will see the relationships that Paul built. If Paul did not have a relationship with the apostle, when he went to prison, they might as well not have prayed for him, and he would have stayed there, because it was because people were interceding on his behalf that we see the miracle that the angel brought Paul out of the prison gates, and there was nothing that happened to him. There was no harm. And also, I remember last week that we said you can't tell your friends everything. Okay, let me now put that into a better context. You can't tell all your friends, because you know your friends, you have studied them, you know how different people access different information or assimilate different informations. Like, I will give you an example. My mom does not process bad news well. So we have a strategy in our home. We make sure she has eaten, we make sure she's all right before we break any bad news. So I will make sure she's good, so that when the bad news lands, at least she has eaten, at least she has rested, for she can have energy to process whatever. So you know your friends, you know how they react to certain things. So you will know the friend that you can tell stuff, and you know the friend you cannot tell some kind of stuff, because you know how the person will react. That is it. I'm not saying that you should not tell your friend things. I tell my friends stuff. I will call you and I will download, as far as you're a very good friend of mine, I will download how my life has been from the last time we spoke. Also, there are different category of friends. There are friends that you see every day. There are friends that you see probably once a week. There are friends that you are in contact with every other day. But there is that particular friend, I know you know, there is that particular friend that you guys might not talk for 2 months, 3 months, but the day you mistakenly call each other, oh my goodness, it's going to be a very, 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 very long conversation. And it is good. It makes you miss the person. It makes you long to have that conversation with the person over and over again. So friendship is very important. You cannot live this life. Eh? It is impossible. For me, I feel it is strongly impossible for you to live this life isolated. No man is an island. Even the Bible says, do not forsake the gathering of brethren. The gathering of brethren is not only in the church. The gathering of brethren is not only in the church. It's not only in gospel gathering. Even within your friends, you cannot be alone. There are situations and times in your life that you will need a friend to pray for you. You just need that friend that you can call, and you know that once you call this person is going to go all out for you in the place of prayer. Also, you cannot pick friends that are just, they're not adding any value to your life. There's no progress in that. There is no moving forward in that. You can't achieve much on your own. You now bring someone into your life that is not even helping you to achieve anything. You need to have a friend that is always in your corner, not for bad things. Friends that will call you out when you are in the wrong, but also you have a friend that will go with you through thick and thin. Back in secondary school, I had this friend. Her name was Fedora. Her name is Fedora. We are still friends. We're not as close as we used to be, but we check on each other once in a while, which I think is good. Fedora, then in school, I would like to think we were a bit of terrors because Fedora was such a good friend that if I was in trouble, we would somehow serve that punishment together. I don't know how we always got to that point in our life that even when she's in trouble, we will serve the punishment together. I vividly remember a time when they were punishing us, general punishment, and then she did something crazy. And then when the seniors were asking, who did this, who did that? She was like, I did it, and they were going to punish her. And they're like, did anybody do it also? And I was like, I also did it. And they flogged. Oh my goodness. And Venera is fair, so the marks were showing on her body. I hope she does not see this. But you need to have a friend that is going to be in your corner, that is going to go all out for you in times of distress, in times of trouble. Not just a friend that is only there when things are progressing, when things are succeeding. Yoruba people say, Owo Epo. Friend is only there to lick the hand of oil. When the things are dry, the friend is missing. That's not friendship. That's extortion. That is extorting your good side. If you have a friend there that is always borrowing from you, but when you call the person that, "Oh, please, I need emergency," person never has, you should question that friendship. I'm joking. But you need to question your friendships. Yeah, you need to weigh it. I'm not saying you should weigh how much the person is giving you, or you need to weigh how much value your friends are putting into your life. And you also, you need to weigh how much value you are putting into your friend's life. It's not only, you're not only receiving, what are you also giving? You need to check and you need to change it. I know last week we spoke about Jonathan. Jonathan was a very good friend, because down the line Jonathan knew that David was the one that Samuel anointed to take over the throne, and that was threatening his own throne, because after they practiced the system of monarchy, so after Saul, Jonathan was the rightful heir as the king of Israel. But then David, his friend, was now going to dethrone him. A wise person will look for a way to kill David, but Jonathan was a good friend and he fought for David. He looked out for David. He wanted to see David succeed. You don't need to look for that type of friend. You need to be that type of friend that you know that your friend is going for a position that you are striving for. You're not going to look for a way to bring down the person, but you're going to look for a way to help the person to do better, even when you fail. Some of us, we have become so self-absorbed that we do not care, we do not give a rat. Sorry about my language. We do not care about our friend's progress. Our friend, though, all we care about is how far we are going. You are so self-absorbed that you do not even notice when your friend is down, when your friend is lacking. We need to do better as human beings. We need to do better as friends. You cannot hunger for what you cannot give out. That's why you won't receive it. If you cannot give that same energy, if you cannot give that energy in your friendship, do not expect it back. We need to be sensible. We need to be sensitive to our friendships. Not just all about looking for friendship groups. For some people, having a group of friends works. It's great. They have hangouts, it's always so nice. All those type of things. I long for it, but I don't know. It just does not work for me. If you are in that type of friendship, it's good and really nice. You know that you guys can help each other. There is always a group of people you can call. But if you don't have that and you have one friend, hold on to that friendship, build it, impact your friends in positive way. Don't just be taking from them. Don't be a thief. Don't be somebody that is just extorting from your friends. Be able to plant seeds that will grow in their life. I hope we go back, we evaluate our friendships, and see how much effort we are putting into our friendships. It's not only how much effort that they are putting into it, but you, how much effort are you putting into your friends? It's very important, and we need to look at it. So I hope we go back and think about this thing. Evaluate your friendships. How is it moving? How is it going? You need to look at it. So, with that being said, I hope today was impactful and insightful in any way. I hope I struck a chord in one way or the other. So, do not forget to like and share this post. Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Yeah, please. And I would love to see your comments. Please let me hear what you have to say about friendships. It's a very important topic, so we need to, talk about it. So I'll be seeing you next week on another interesting topic. Stay blessed, stay loved. Love you all. Bye.